Start in Suffolk. In Suffolk, we had the criminal complaint, custody order, and the divorce. So when I first initially had the accusations put against me in Suffolk, of course, like I said, it generated a protective order, went through that whole motion and everything. And then she herself was not the one filing the charges. It was the city because she filed a complaint, however that goes. So when I first met with my lawyer, he asked me questions about what happened. Then he asked what happened the night of the police coming over, the day. And I told him that no, they did not take my firearms, and no, they didn't arrest me. He said, they didn't arrest you the day of? I said, no, they arrested me the next day. He's like, the next day? It's like, yeah. He's like, and they didn't take your firearm? I'm like, no. He's like, did they know you had it? I said, yeah, I told the officers where it was at. And he was like, huh. And he heard the story, seeing how things were going thus far at that point, and he even said, you're going to be okay. You just have to go through it. I didn't know what it was. I know what it is now, and I still rather just paid extra money not to go through it. But she didn't come to the court case, so that got continued. That particular court case kept getting pushed back because of COVID. I just know it got pushed back to the point that they got pushed back to a year. What ended up happening with that case is that when we finally went into court, my lawyer that I had was the same lawyer I had for my divorce. Had I did a little bit more research, I'd have seen that the lawyer I had for my divorce and my custody was a great lawyer for divorce and custody, not so much criminal. A lot of things weren't said in that court case that should have been said. Two important people should have spoken there, but didn't speak. Even when my lawyer presented the fact of her story being inconsistent, the fact she filed in different places with different stories, trying to see what she can do to get something to stick. The judge was just like, I'm going to find him guilty. They suspended a year of jail time. They told me I had to take anger management and I would be on probation for a year. But he said after the year and after I complete the anger management and don't get in trouble at all, they'll dismiss the whole thing, but still had to pay a $500 fine for brandishing a weapon. I was not comfortable with that because I didn't brandish my weapon. I didn't do it. So my lawyer advised me to appeal it, take it to a higher court. So I took his advice, but I didn't take him. I hired a different lawyer, showed the lawyer the same information and showed him everything. And he felt confident about it. He's like, oh yeah, this should be no problem, because of everything I showed him, the inconsistencies in her stories. The fact that the main thing was the fact of when she went somewhere else, when she went to North Carolina and reported that I beat her with a gun, presented pictures saying that these are marks from the gun, but we had the two officers there willing to testify to say, there's no way this man put marks on this woman because if she's saying he did this before we got there were no marks, especially with her description of what she wrote down, saying how she got beat with the gun. So there's no way this woman was mark free. Then when she goes away from him and goes to a whole other state, magically she has these marks on her. So I had all that thinking, I'm like, all right, good. We have all that in the bag. This lawyer, is making me feel confident that this way it can get dismissed. At this point, my main concern was just to get her exposed for being the liar that she is. So when we get to court, finally, they get ready to call my case. I'm outside waiting, I'm kind of amped. I'm like, finally, we get to finally show somebody who she is and how she's lying on me. And then my lawyer he goes in the courtroom, I guess, to see how things are going in there. And he comes back out and he goes, Mr. Lacey, that judge is sending everybody to jail today. And I was like, okay. He's like, I think it'll be in our best interest to just go ahead and accept what you got in the lower court. I'm like, but I don't want to because I didn't do it. He said, why roll the dice? Why take the chance? Just say you accept what they gave you in the lower court. That way you don't have to worry about taking a chance. And I'm like, but we have enough stuff here. And the fact of, in the midst of me talking to him, I've realized this guy's not going to sit here and defend me the way I need to be defended. So I was like, I really, in my mind, I felt the only thing safe to do was to just accept the deal in the lower level court. Because he's saying that they can just take that off the table and elevate the consequences. So I went in there and he said, I told him like I'll accept the charge from the lower court, so I gotta do nothing. And a condition for me to do that, they said you have to say you did it. And the judge and my lawyers literally beside me telling me what to say in my ear. And when he got the part where it says I did it, I looked at him, I was like, yo, I didn't do it. He said, just say you did it. And this way you get these lesser charges. I'm like, yo, but I didn't do it. He's like, he's not gonna let you go. He's gonna find you guilty. That right there, I'm like, so I had to just say it. I had to say like, yeah, I did it. It's like, all right, and that was that. But that shit hurt. Like that shit hurt to have to say I did something I didn't do, and I had everything in the world to show that I didn't do it. But it was like it's between a rock and a hard place, Keep my integrity intact and be honest and potentially go to jail, or loosen my integrity and guarantee not to go to jail, because my main concern for that day was I have to make a home for Nerf gun night. That was my main concern. Me and the boys were having Nerf gun night. And that was the main thing. I said, I got to make a home for Nerf gun night. So that was like my main thing. So that's what happened with the criminal, with the accusations that I pulled a gun out on her and pushed her from behind and she fell in bed from Suffolk. That's what happened with those set of accusations.